Okay, in this video I'm going to show you how to solve rational equations. Rational equations are like your rational expressions. The only difference is now we have it equal to something. So what you're looking for here is the value of x that makes these two parts equal to each other, or three parts, or however many parts we have. The first important thing is find a lowest common denominator. So if I have something like 2 over 3 plus 3 over 4 equals 1, what I need to do is find a denominator here that makes it so I can get rid of the fraction. And it's going to be 12. So I'm going to set it up as each part over 12. And I'm going to look at it. What did I multiply this 3 by to get 12? Well, I multiplied it by 4. So I have to multiply the numerator by 4. What did I multiply this 4 by to get 12? I had to multiply it by 3. So I have to multiply the numerator by 3. What did I multiply this 1 by? Well, this 1 is actually over 1, so it's 12 over 12. I had to multiply it by 12. So what that means is I can get rid of all the fractions by multiplying everything in this equation by 12. This is going to cancel this, it's going to cancel this, and it's going to cancel this. So then I'm just going to be left with 8 plus 9 equals 12. Obviously not true. However, that part is just what we're looking at, okay? We're just looking at the parts that I did to get rid of the denominator. So don't worry that this isn't true. Not true, but okay. So let's do it with some variables in there. If I have something over something like this, I have 3 different denominators. I want to find the lowest common denominator between them. The lowest common denominator is going to be 12. So I'm going to set it up the exact same way I did the other one. What did I have to multiply this by to get here? I multiplied it by 4. So I multiplied the numerator by 4. What did I multiply this by to get here? I multiplied it by 3. So I multiplied the numerator by 3. What did I multiply this by to get here? I multiplied it by 3. So I multiplied the numerator by 3. After I've done that, I can multiply this whole equation by the common denominator, and it's going to cancel them all out. These are all going to cancel out. So I'm left with 4x plus 6 equals 9x. Now I want to get my x's to the same side, and this is just basic arithmetic that you guys have done before. Get the x alone, and I get x equals 6 over 5. And that's the answer, so we solved that one. Now those ones were pretty basic. What you're going to see more often is something like this. So the first thing I want to do is I want to make this into a fraction. Now that it's a fraction, I can find what's the lowest common denominator here. Well, I probably want to factor these two guys out to see what they have in common. Remember that chart that we made before? Both, first, second, final. So they both have an x plus 3. The first one also has a 2. The second one also has an x minus 3. So the final is going to be x plus 3 times 2 times x minus 3. So they're all going to have that. X plus 3 times 2 times x minus 3. X plus 3, 2, x minus 3. X plus 3, 2, x minus 3. Now I know some of you guys are going to just start saying, okay, once the denominators are the same, I can cancel them out. You can cancel them out, but you need to know that the reason you cancel them out is when I multiply by this denominator, it cancels everything out, okay? So don't think of it as magic, they just disappear once they're the same, but they kind of do. So I'm going to look at this. What did I multiply this by to get here? Well, it already had that part, so I multiplied it by x minus 3, which means I need to multiply the numerator by x minus 3. I'm going to distribute that out. So it's going to be 3x squared minus 9x. What did I multiply this by to get here? Well, I had to multiply it by 2, so I multiply the numerator by 2. So 2 times 2 is 4. What did I multiply this by to get here? I had to multiply it by the whole thing. So that's going to be a little bit more tricky. So what I have to do is 14 times x plus 3 times 2 times x minus 3. Well, it's going to be easier if I multiply these numbers together. 28, x plus 3, x minus 3. I want to expand this part out, so it's going to be 28 times x squared minus 3x plus 3x is 0 minus 9. So it's going to be 28 x squared plus 252 minus 252, which is just 28 times negative 9. So now I'm going to multiply this whole thing by the denominator, and I'm just going to write d instead of rewriting this, which cancels this out. So I'm left with 3x squared minus 9x plus 4 equals 28x squared minus 252. This is a quadratic because it has an x squared. So what I'm going to want to do is set it equal to 0. I'm going to subtract this and bring it over. It's going to be negative 25x squared minus 9x. I'm going to add this to bring it over, plus 256 equals 0. Now that I set it equal to 0, I'm going to use the quadratic equation. So I have 9 plus or minus the square root, negative 9 squared minus 4 times negative 25 times 256 over 2 times negative 25. 9 plus or minus square root 81 plus 2 over negative 50. 9 plus or minus square root 25,681 over negative 50. See if I can simplify that square root. I don't know if I can. Square root 25,681. I can't simplify that, guy, so I'm going to leave this as my answer. X equals positive and negative right here. And that's it. The last thing that you have to double check is just if there is a restriction for what your value is. So if there's a restriction on your denominator, it can't be that. So right here my restriction would have been x cannot equal negative 3 and 3. So you got to look at those as well. These are not negative 3 and 3, so these are okay. That's really it, what you're doing when you're solving these guys. Probably most of the ones that I give you will be more simple than this. But when you have questions, let me know.